Maybe someday. All right, well, I guess we could probably just get started. The good news is we're recording this. So what we'll do is we'll post this. So anybody who maybe joins late can start from the beginning, or we can share it with anybody who isn't able to make it in person. And if anybody'd like to see it, of course, the link will be available to share hopefully in the next day or two. But what we're going to do is we're going to get started. So welcome to everyone who's joined to the second Virtual Office Hours, episode 2. Anybody who was on last time, we mentioned we're going to do this probably every week. We're going to do it every other week. So in case this is your second time on, thanks for joining 2 weeks ago. What we're going to do today is we're going to focus a little bit on the Snapcast feature in the Rocketbook app. And we're going to do a live demo, which I think is pretty cool. So this will be great. This will be some good content that, you can go back and watch this video afterwards. There'll be a few, like I said, a live demo, a live example, step by step. So kind of walk you through how it works and how it can be beneficial, especially in a Zoom meeting. And this is perfect because we are in a Zoom meeting. So anyway, my name is Michael, and I work with Rocketbook, work for Rocketbook, and there's a few other Rocketbook team members on here. So a couple things. One, definitely post questions in that chat. If you have any questions or comments, we can for sure try to get to as many of them as we can today. There should be time. The Snapcast demo shouldn't take all that long. So feel free to post your questions and comments in that chat, and we'll be replying to them verbally here, and also maybe with some links to our help center or some resources that might be beneficial. I think Peter will take care of that. We'll also post the link to last week's episode if you'd like to go back and check that out, maybe when a few more people pop in. So that'll all be in the chat, which is great. And I think without further ado, we can probably get started with the Snapcast demo. So first thing I'm going to do is I've got, I'm going to do it in a notebook. You can do it with a note. Snapcast works with a whiteboard, with beacons, and with notebooks. So when we first rolled out Snapcast with Rocketbook Beacons, it was only available with beacons and whiteboards, but our amazing app team has put together the ability to scan notebooks and do the exact same sharing of Snapcast links. So I'm going to use Rocketbook Fusion today because I don't have a whiteboard in my home office right now. But again, same idea. We'll do a demo with a whiteboard afterwards. But so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Rocketbook app, but let me just share my actual phone. All right, here we go. Okay, so first things first, opening the Rocketbook app. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put that bottom new scan. And then, oops. So, you can see that you can scan beacons or Rocketbook notebooks, and I'm going to go with Rocketbook notebooks. So I've got that here. So I'm in scan mode. And as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little symbol. This is the Snapcast logo. I think so. I'm in a whiteboard, but I'm not. So I'm going to open up the Snapcast link. And you can see at the bottom, my Snapcast link is right there. It says Snapcast Zoom Demo, which I named already. So what you can do is you can name your Snapcast in here by tapping these 3 little white dots on the right-hand side. You can do a few things. You can share your Snapcast URL, which we'll do in a second. You can rename it. You can clear it when there's something else on there. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my Snapcast URL. I'm just going to copy it. Then I'm going to paste it in a web browser. So now that I'm in Snapcast mode and I've shared the web browser, I'm going to do my first scan. And in a second, well, actually, let me open up that browser now. And now you can see my Snapcast link right there. We've got, as you can see, that was the URL up here was what you just saw in the Rocketbook app. So you can still see me here. I'm going to scan my Rocketbook Fusion right now in Snapcast mode. And right about now, you should see my scan pop up on the screen. So there you go. So I've got this live view of what I'm sharing. Like I said, could be on a whiteboard, could be in a notebook. And if we weren't in a Zoom meeting, I could just email you that link and you could see what we were talking about on the phone or whatever. But what's really cool is now if I wanted to add something to what I'm scanning, just write down in my notebook what I want to add. And then I'll just give it another scan while still in Snapcast mode. Of course, I didn't change anything. And after I scan it, it just scanned. What I just scanned should pop up live on the screen. So there you go. This is really beneficial for a lot of reasons, obviously. This isn't exactly something necessarily what we'd be sharing in like a live meeting. This is more a step-by-step demo, just so it's kind of there. But if you're sharing something on a whiteboard, if you're brainstorming, and a bunch of people are contributing, and you write down a couple ideas, and then you scan it, and then you kind of keep brainstorming, and you write down a few more ideas, and you scan it. And having that visual of what you're brainstorming on that whiteboard or notebook is super beneficial for a lot of different people. So instead of just talking about something, you can actually see it. So that's a little example of how to share a Snapcast link with a notebook scan.
The writing is so nice and clear, and the color really pops, Michael.
Yeah. So I'm actually using a friction marker for this, just because I wanted it to be a little bit more. And I'm in a letter size Fusion, so it's a big enough notebook where I felt like this was probably the right move for this type of demo. But yeah, the scan quality is obviously great. It's the same scan. That exact same scan is what you'll see in your Rocketbook app history when you save it there. And just like any other scan, whether it's Snapcast or not, you can share that to any of the cloud destinations that you typically share to, whether it's your email or Dropbox or Google Drive or a shared Google Drive folder. So that scan that you see in the Snapcast browser right now will be the exact same scan that you would have in your history. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to pass it over to Maggie, who's going to do a similar demo, but this time on a whiteboard, so we can give an example of what it would look like on a whiteboard as well. So let me stop sharing my screen now.
Hi, guys. I'm going to show you right now how to do a Snapcast. We just get all set up there. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so let me go to my office. So here you see I have this order of operations problem up here. I'm going to put this beacon on so then it'll start scanning. So I'm going to step back. And you will see that will pop up. There we go. So I'm going to see if I can do this math without any problems today. So we always do what's in parentheses first. Now we're going to do exponents. How am I doing? Am I getting it right? I'm a little nervous.
I'm gonna say yes.
Any other math teachers on who can confirm?
Confirm or deny.
And you'll see at the bottom I put, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, so everyone would know what to do first. So that's how I've been using this Snapcast mode, and several teachers are using it now to tutor their students. And in anything, it can be foreign language, it can be writing, grammar, whatever. So there you go.
Yeah, this is a great example of doing like a real-time, obviously, problem step by step. That's probably a lot more beneficial than the example I showed. But as Maggie mentioned, for distance learning, what a great way to kind of walk through a problem with, a team or a group of students on a live Zoom or a live Google Hangout or whatever video chat platform you use.
Well, Michael, aside of doing math problems for families at home and whatnot, looking for different games to play, you can also kind of do a virtual Pictionary or Hangman on Snapcast, which is kind of fun.
That's a really great idea. We should have done that today. See, Graham said, fairly simple and great for my students. Never tried before, but I will as my students are in Baku, Azerbaijan, and I'm stuck here in America. That would be some serious distance learning. Wow. Very cool. Yeah, we'd love, and Graham, if you do test it out, we would certainly love to hear about it. And, you could always share an example to us or, hit us up with any questions you might have. It can always be reached at hello@getrocketbook.com. anything whatsoever, we're definitely here. Pretty fast response time, and we can get back to you if you have any questions or comments. And we'd also love to hear how it goes with your students. That's really cool. So what do we cover? We covered some good stuff last week, Maggie. I know that we talked a little bit about it was a little more teacher focused, and I'm not sure if all of our participants today are from the teachers group or if they're just general Rocketbook users. But we did cover some grams in the dead of night via Zoom. We did cover some Google Classroom kind of shortcuts that Google Classroom currently is not a supported cloud destination in the traditional sense with the Rocketbook app, but there is definitely a way to share your scans with Google Classroom. And maybe Peter can actually share that link in the chat again in case anybody's unfamiliar or is interested in it. It's definitely been one of our biggest requests for a while, and right now in probably the peak of distance learning, Google Classroom for sure has been a very handy integration for a lot of people. So if you're interested in that, there's an article up here just posted in the chat. Feel free to check that out. You can always email us if you have any questions as well. Maggie, you can email Maggie directly for educational things. It's maggie.robbins, R-O-B-B-I-N-S, @getrocketbook.com. And Jacqueline just asked about Canvas. We did cover this last week. Maggie, do you want to just chime in since you're a little more familiar with Canvas?
Yeah, Jacqueline, we're sure that the share button will do the same thing as it does in Google Classroom. It can share to your assignments. So we don't have a direct upload to Canvas, but we're looking into it. So just know it's on the horizon.
So I'll actually do another quick demo with the Rocketbook app open. Okay, so I'm in the history. Let's say I make a scan. Now, just for the heck of it, I'm going to scan the same notebook page I already scanned since we already saw that. So I'll scan this notebook page. And I'm not in Snapcast mode right now, by the way. This is just a traditional scan. So I have my scan now. And I'll take a look at it. It looks pretty good. And I want to share it. So I tap next in the bottom right-hand corner here. And these are the destinations that we have set up with the Rocketbook app. And a lot of them look familiar. The traditional integrated apps like Google Drive, iCloud, Evernote. And then this is actually a pretty new addition to the Rocketbook app if you haven't seen it yet. The last option here is share to other destinations, which just means one of the destinations that we don't traditionally integrate with. So if you tap on that and then tap next, it'll bring you to this page. Now, you can review it again. You can take a look at it if you'd like. Looks good to me. I'm going to tap send, and when I tap send, it's going to bring up some options. So this phone does not have a lot of applications on it, but when you tap the three dots and more, this is where other applications would show up. So Canvas potentially would be in here. I'm actually not sure. I'm sorry. I probably should have had that app on my phone ahead of time to do this demo, but if Canvas app is on your phone or your iPad or whatever device you're using, it would show up in here, and you could actually share it there to just like you'd share it to Evernote or Dropbox or whatever it is. So definitely recommend testing it out with Canvas or Google Classroom. It's another way to share there. So that's a little demo right there. All right, sent. So looks like we have a few new participants. So I'm actually going to open my Snapcast back up, and I'm going to do another quick demo. Sorry to those who have already seen it, but it's relatively quick. So let me just close out of everything so I can kind of start from scratch. So to share a Snapcast link anywhere, but one great thing is we're doing it in Zoom right now. So I'm going to show how we can do it in Zoom. Is first you open the Rocketbook app, pretty simple, and then you tap New Scan at the bottom. When you're in New Scan, like I mentioned earlier, I'm scanning a Rocketbook notebook, but this also works for a whiteboard. So if you have Rocketbook Beacons on a whiteboard, you'd swipe over to Beacons, but I'm going to stick with Notebook. So Rocketbook Notebook. And then in the upper right-hand corner, you see that little white triangle. That's our Snapcast logo. I'm going to tap on that. And I've got my Snapcast Zoom demo link down there. So if I tap three dots to the right, I can name that Snapcast whatever we want. We can name it, Hi Everybody. And that'll just be the name of your Snapcast that shows up on the link when you open it up on a browser. And then, I could either share this via text, email, I can copy it and paste it, or I could actually just type it into my browser. Six, 7, 9. 31479. Now, I already shared this, but let me clear it. And it's at that same, those three dots that I showed earlier, clear Snapcast. So let's just say I had an empty Snapcast. So now I'm in Snapcast mode. I'm scanning a Rocketbook notebook in Snapcast mode, scanning the notebook page right now. And once you scan it, in just a second, it pops up live. So anybody who has that link open on a URL in their browser, or anybody you shared that link with, will see what I just scanned. Now, I can update my scan. And much like Maggie just did with the math problem, as I scan it, and it scans, it updates in the Snapcast in real time, which is pretty cool. If you scan something else while in Snapcast mode, it simply just, like say you scan another notebook page or a whiteboard, it simply replaces, when you scan a new page, it just pops up and just shows what your latest scan is. So to clear it out, now let's say you end this meeting and you have another meeting with a new group of students or a new group of colleagues, and you want to do another Snapcast, but you already have this most recent scan in your browser. What you do is you just go in here, you tap that clear Snapcast, like I showed with those three dots, and boom, it's gone. So you can start all over again.
I would just say that share that URL, put it in Canvas, put it in Google Classroom, so your students, if you're going to use this with your students, they'll always have that link to Snapcast. Mm-hmm. So just post it somewhere in announcements or something, and they'll always be able to access it.
Yeah, and anyone accessing that link can also download the latest scan directly from that page.
Yeah, that's a great point too. I should have brought that up. So yeah, say you wanted a PDF of that scan that's in Snapcast mode, you can simply save that yourself. Whether it's on your desktop or on your phone or whatever, so you can actually have that file and share it. And you can save it each time, as it's getting updated in real time. Maybe before I scan it for a second time, people want to, get the progress so they can save that scan, and then I scan again in Snapcast mode and it updates, and you can save that one. You can kind of keep going and have that process, which is cool too.
And you can do that same thing from the app too. Like if you set everyone up like in your class with a destination, just send the latest Snapcasted scan to all those participants yourself without making them do any work.
Mm-hmm. Great call too. Okay, well, good little Snapcast demo today. Hopefully you guys learned something, and this will become a beneficial tool for sharing. And again, we're going to share this video, this whole demo. We'll have it out there, and it'll be available it'll be on YouTube that you can share with anybody who might be interested, and go back and check it out. We'll try this again in 2 weeks. Would love to hear any suggestions for Rocketbook topics you'd like us to cover or demos we can do. Always fun to do that. Always happy to do that. So you can always email us at hello@getrocketbook.com with your suggestions. Or you can post if you're in a Rocketbook Facebook group like Rocket Teachers or the Rocketbook Launch Crew, feel free to post in there. Maybe get some more traction, get some other people seeing what we're doing, and hopefully other people will want to join in the future, and this becomes a beneficial thing to a lot of Rocketbook, the Rocketbook community. So thank you all so much. If there's no other questions, we can wrap it up. Really appreciate your time today. And we hopefully will see you again in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody.